Hello, it is Dr. Chris Raquel and I am back again with a video for today. I hope you all are doing amazingly. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. You can also send me an email at askcrystalraquel@gmail.com if you have any questions that you would love to see me answer on video. So I do have a topic for you all and it is specific to dating. It's for the ladies. So I know sometimes, when you're single and you're looking to eventually be married, it can sometimes be tricky figuring out things that you should do, things that you should or should not engage in. So I wanted to give you a little video about 4 different things that a single lady who's looking to marry a decent Christian man should or should not do. So first things first, you do not want to be engaging in any weed smoking or anything that is any kind of substance that's going to alter your mind, because a decent man or a man who is serving God, regardless of what they say about it's for medicinal purposes, he's not going to be into that. So I'm just going to give you all the facts, ladies. I'm giving you these 4 tips that you should or should not do if you're looking to be married. So I'm telling you straight out the gate, no weed, okay? You're going to have to stop that. And unless you're somebody who's really sick, has some sort of serious pain, like you have something like cancer, that's completely different. But if you're someone who is focused on marriage, you're not focused on, having this major health concern, no weed smoking, okay? It really alters your mind. There was someone that I knew someone that I knew some years back, and I knew her and she was a really smart young lady, but she smoked weed. And there was a point in time where I could tell she was really, really smoking because she just didn't sound smart. She sounded like she was slowing down mentally. And I told her straight up, because I'm that type of person. I'm a very kind-hearted person, but I believe that if you love someone, you're honest with them. And I told her, and then shortly after that, she stopped, and then she went right back to normal. She seemed like she was all there. The next thing you want to avoid, I should say, is cursing. So you don't want to be using any foul language. You do not want to be using F-bombs, S-bombs, anything, even the D word. You don't want to use that, the A word. Those are things that are not attractive to men, even if they themselves are cursing. Because regardless of how times have been changing, that has historically not been something that is for women. It's not been something that's been feminine. It's always been associated with men. Even to this day, there are men who, when a lady walks in the room or is around them, they'll watch their language, or children. So if you want to attract a man who's serious about marriage, then you're not going to want to engage in cursing, because they're going to see that as, okay, so I have some leeway to kind of do some things that aren't correct, because she's using foul language. So if she's okay with that, she'll be okay with other things. So if you're trying to attract a decent man, a man who is going to have Christian values, you don't want to be using foul language and cursing, because also that kind of reflects what's in your heart. You want to make sure that you are trying to be like Christ, because we know when Jesus was on earth, he certainly was not using that kind of language. So always hold yourself to a higher standard and, discipline yourself in that way. The third thing you do not want to do if you are looking to be married to a decent or Christian man, you don't want to get any tattoos. So ladies, I know many of you may have tattoos and things like that. Some people have gotten them when they were younger and those type of things, but obviously if you have tattoos already, you really can't do anything about it unless you pay to have them removed, laser removal. But I'm talking to the ladies who don't have any tattoos right now. Save yourself the trouble. Do not go around seeking to get tattoos. And once again, the men may have tattoos, but sometimes they don't see that as ladylike, because they're thinking of their future wife. They're thinking of the example that their child is going to set, or that they're going to set for their child in terms of you being a mom. So they don't like that. They prefer to see your clear skin. And of course, there's certain sects of people who, are into that thing. That's completely different. But I'm talking about, people who are raised Christian or focused on their word. Those type of things. Yes, people can say it's art, but I can put my art on the wall, right? So a lot of times when men maybe see well, a certain type of man sees ladies with tattoos, they think like maybe she's lost, or, you know, maybe she didn't have anything else better to do with her time, you know. And obviously, you know, you can say the same thing about a man, but it's just a little bit different because you're a lady, right? A lot of times ladies have it together, you know, so a man wants to see the ladies in that way. And obviously, you know, a Christian man, if it's something tiny, small, something that he can't really see, that's kind of like almost like you don't have tattoos. But, you know, when you get into a lot of things like neck tattoos and things that are all over your body and like tattoos on your chest, it's gonna be kind of like maybe a turn off for him, because he's envisioned the type of woman that he would have for his life. And, you know, men and women are completely different, so he wants to be able to pick the lady that he wants for his life. He kind of wants a clear slate, and you having a lot of markings on your body is kind of you putting yourself in a different category. So, you know, ladies, of course, if you have these types of tattoos already, don't feel bad. You know, I know a lot of us make mistakes when we're younger, but I'm just letting everyone know, so including ladies who have tattoos and don't have tattoos, that that's something that may be a turnoff for a lot of Christian men, or, you know, men who are more decent and looking for a certain type of lady who they will consider respectable. Not saying you're not respectable if you have tattoos, but just from the perspective of what a man might think. The last thing, I've talked about this many times before. This is going to be specific to the way that you dress. So I'm not going to go into exactly what you should and should not wear, but you need to be mindful of exposure and showing yourself, showing your breasts. So no deep cleavage line. And there are many ladies who have like really large breasts or a large chest. I understand. You want to be really mindful of your breasts and your cleavage. So you don't want to be wearing anything that's going to be super, super tight all over your chest to where everything's exposed. You can even see your nipples, things like that. But you also want to avoid cleavage. So obviously, if there's like a 1 inch of cleavage, people probably figure that it's not intentional. It's just the way it is. You know, you might have a large chest. But when you're getting into like a deep cleavage line, or even 2 inches of cleavage, it's just too much. You want to do your best to cover that up, because if you have a nice body, you have a nice body, that's going to be visible. But when you start getting into you know, exposing it, obviously it's not going to be for your benefit. And as I already mentioned, if you have a nice body, we can see that, right? It doesn't matter what you have on. We can tell, you know, you have a nice shape, as long as you're wearing the right size, meaning nothing too form-fitting. And I'm not saying you have to be in a burqa, bag, anything like that, but, you know, just make sure you're dressing in your size, no exposed cleavage. Don't wear anything that shows anything hanging out the back, something that's too tight on your behind, something that's super short. You get my point. You want to dress modestly. You know, you don't want to have too much skin showing. If you do have like your arms exposed, or like, you know, no sleeves, you want to have something longer on the bottom, right? Or something that at least is like knee length. And if you're going to maybe have like a skirt that's above your knee, whatever that may be, you want to make sure that it's maybe like you're more covered up top, right? So, you know, if it's a hot day, obviously you can still expose your arms, but, you know, you don't want to be like, have something above your knee, then also have no sleeves, or, you know, something that's like super thin straps. So ladies, do keep those things in mind. Let me know what you all think below. Have you found that you follow these 4 tips? Once again, it was, you know, no weed or any type of substances. The second one was, no, the third one was tattoos. The second one was cursing. And then the fourth one was about your dress and making sure that you're dressing modestly. So ladies, have you found that these things work for you? And if not, go ahead and implement it and let me know if you found any difference in the type of men that are going to be approaching you. And then also, men, what do you think? Does it sound like what I said is accurate? If you're a Christian man, or you consider yourself a decent man, do you look for those things that I just mentioned? And we can talk about it. We can keep the chat going in the comment section down below, because, you know, I'm finding that a lot of people maybe just don't know. And those are some things that worked for me, at least when I was seeking for marriage. And so I wanted to just share with you all, because I know, like I said, some people don't know. They might not have been taught. Maybe they didn't have active parents in their life, or maybe that they were taught a certain way by those around them. It could have been their own parents, it could have been society. So keep those things in mind. It's really not hard. It's actually easy to implement. So you don't want tattoos, you don't want to be using bad language. Think positively and you'll speak positively. No substances, no weed, anything like that. And also make sure you're dressed appropriately, because God wants you to be able to present yourself as a reflection of Him. He wants everything you do to glorify Him. So when you're seeking for marriage and love, think to yourself, are these things going to glorify my life, or glorify God? Are people going to be able to see me and think I'm a representative of Christ? And if no, it may mean you need to make some adjustments about some things that are that you're doing or that are going on in your life. So I hope you have an amazing and blessed day. And like I said before, let me know what you think down below, because some people just don't know. Have a great day. Bye.